This podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. Genius Brain listeners, as the days get shorter, things can start to feel a little heavier. Sometimes the best thing we can do is reach out, check in on a friend, call someone you haven't seen in a while, or remind the people you care about that they are not alone. And listen, if you've been thinking about therapy, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Do not be afraid. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/genius. That's betterhelp.com/genius.
And she was shocked. She was like, I didn't know he did that. I was like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, even if I did tell you, you think he would have stopped hitting me?
Yeah.
He still would have hit me. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. And so my mom was just like getting mad at my dad now. She was like, I'm going to talk to him. I was like, it's too late.
It's too late.
It was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain podcast. I am your host, David. So we are back in studio with Ed Park VP, baby. I haven't seen you in like a month.
Dude, I have been, actually, you asked me what I've been up to. I've been watching a lot of baseball because it's postseason. And my Mariners went so far and came so short again. So I'm rocking with the Dodgers, which, by the way, last night, they set or tied the record for the longest game in MLB history.
How long was it?
18 innings. So, you know, there's 9 innings.
Yeah.
They played 2 games, essentially.
How long was that?
In one. So it was 6 hours and 40 minutes.
I can't.
But I love baseball.
I don't give
saw
a shit.
the whole thing. I saw every pitch, and yeah.
I can't do that.
It was
I'll
insane.
literally lose my fucking mind, dude. And especially if I was at the baseball game, I think I would have just left.
But the World Series tickets and nosebleeds are like $1,000.
That's crazy.
Dude, if you watch the replay, everybody stayed. Everybody in LA stayed there.
I mean, if you're a baseball fan, that must be like a big treat. But, you know, I've been to one baseball game, and it just, Jesus Christ, man. I'm like, this is such a fucking long sport, dude.
Yeah.
My back is tired, my ass hurts, and then I'm spending more money on food
On the
because I'm
food
hungry.
and the beer. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what keeps you. That's another thing. So MLB rules, they have to cut off alcohol sales at the 7th inning. And it went 18 innings.
Nah, I'm out. I'm done.
A lot of people stayed. Justin Bieber was there. He left.
Dude. And then your sunscreen wears off and you're just sunburnt to fucking
Well,
all hell.
It was a night game. But by the way, like Ohtani fucking setting records again. He's doing insane. I don't have to really explain it, but he's doing shit that nobody's ever seen before. So the game went so long. Like everybody else was like striking out and like whatever, walking and not getting hits. Like, so everyone went to the plate like 9 times. This guy went on base 9 times safely.
Oh, wow.
So he hit 2 doubles and 2 home runs. And after that, the Blue Jays intentionally walked him. So they didn't even let him play. Remember what they did with Barry Bonds?
Oh, yeah.
Good. They did that to Ohtani last night 5 times.
That's crazy.
Intentionally walked him. So it was intense. It was crazy.
He's
I didn't
worth
sleep a
every
lot.
penny.
They made their money back this year. $700 million. That to me says, oh, so he was worth $2 billion.
Yeah. He is worth every penny that they've spent on him, which is so insane to say. Right?
And he's making people watch baseball who don't watch it. So yeah, it's like, it's good for the game.
Look at that fucking goop go.
That jab.
That little jab, dude. I can always see like in the stands, like some couple of white Americans just like, I don't want to like him. But I fucking do. There's always like random comments like talking shit, but it's like, there's a little racism in that, dude.
Every time like Shohei does something, like hits a home run, they'll cut to a random Asian in the crowd. But the thing is, like, every time SportsCenter or whatever on Instagram, they post some crazy shit he did, there's always one hater who says he wasn't better than Babe Ruth. And it's like, Babe Ruth never faced a black person.
Yeah.
He never faced a Dominican pitcher.
Yeah.
Right? He was playing against, like, plumbers and construction workers.
That's like the hard part, like when we talk about like legacy in any type of sports, whether it's MMA, basketball, or whatever, you have to put in context who the competition is, right?
Yeah.
And I think that always comes up with, people who hate on Michael Jordan. They're like, oh, the level of competition Michael Jordan was in like today. And I highly disagree with that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't agree. Like,
I was alive then and I'm alive now.
They played it a lot harder.
Yeah.
And tougher.
They were very violent.
Yeah.
Very violent, i.e. Sean Kemp. Either way. But when sports is so fascinating too when I see it because it makes so much fucking money. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Dude, like people drop money for sports.
So there's an issue coming up because they're saying this World Series is so important. So the Dodgers, obviously, they're known for spending hundreds of millions. Like they're the second because the Mets spend the most. They spend like $400 million per year on their contracts per year.
Wow.
And so they're saying, oh my gosh, there's going to be a lockout for 2027 when the new collective bargaining agreement needs to be, come up with. And they're saying they want a salary cap in baseball, and the Dodgers are ruining it because they're buying all the best players. Yeah. But the truth is, no, like the Angels could have played Ohtani, but they didn't want to.
Yeah.
The Red Sox didn't want to pay Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
The Braves didn't want to pay Freddie Freeman, all these former MVPs. The Dodgers paid them. So the issue is really a salary floor. Like even the Oakland or Sacramento A's now, they actually generated like hundreds of millions a year, but they refuse to pay for good players. And then they act like they're so poor they can't play in Oakland anymore. But they're going to build a new $1 billion stadium in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
I don't know. How many more fucking sports teams does fucking Vegas want to acquire, dude?
Yeah,
they're like literally the Thanos.
Yeah.
They're just collecting all the stones. I mean, they have so much fucking money out there.
Yeah.
It's unreal, dude. I could never live in Vegas, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure about desert all the time.
Yeah, like I understand, why people go to Vegas. It's just,
so everyone at JK moved to Vegas, right?
Yeah, everybody at JK moved. A lot of people moved to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
It's a desert, dude. It's still a desert. I think financially, it's like smarter for people who can work remotely, and it doesn't matter where they live.
Yeah.
Because obviously they don't have, they're not taxed for their state tax, right? It's covered basically by the casinos. They make so much revenue off of that. That's basically how it gets covered. I didn't really know that until recently. So yeah, you're saying like what, 15%? The cost of living is a little bit cheaper out there.
But I've also heard like that Vegas is becoming a ghost town because only the ultra rich can afford to do Vegas shit now.
Probably, maybe. I mean, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, right?
Yeah, not ghost town, but like the number of
their prices have doubled since pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. So it's very similar to like Sacramento prices now. Right, which it shouldn't be. Like Sacramento is vastly better than fucking Vegas. So Vegas has this thing where, prior to pandemic, there were homes that I was looking at in Vegas just to see if I wanted to invest into it. It was like a house, I think it was like $200K. I think that neighborhood, the similar home that I looked at is like at $450. So this place that was, seemingly very affordable is now not. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but $450,000 for a lot of people is not affordable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not. Right. And I think sometimes too, when people who have money and when they talk about finances, they forget that, not everybody is you. Right. And I still wonder now too, when I go to the grocery store, like, dude, how the fuck are people eating food? Like, it's so fucking expensive.
It's tough. It's rough out there.
It's fucking rough, man. And on top of that too, it's like, I thought about this where just one little if COVID had never happened, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Just one little thing. Not even just like the effect of how much it affected like food prices, housing costs, or whatever that it is economically speaking. Like the distrust in government and authority was the biggest shift ever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and also the news. So even people have a huge confusion of the truth.
Yeah.
But I think it's mostly older people because they can't even tell the difference between AI videos. Dude, have your parents been fooled by AI videos yet?
My dad is starting to use things like ChatGPT and stuff like that, but he doesn't know how to read and aggregate data properly, right? Because he's fucking old.
Yeah.
So for example, like with the kid, like I lift him up, like, yeah, he goes, oh, I read on ChatGPT that you can give a kid CTE from that. I was like, give me the fucking article, right? I read the article. I was like, first of all, there is no scientific data backed by this. Yeah. It's just a warning. There's no sources for this. Yeah. And he goes, that's the truth. It's just like the Korean newspaper when we were younger, all over again. You know what I mean?
It's like, don't turn on a fan when you go to sleep.
Yes, it's the same thing now.
It's ridiculous.
It's like, why don't you? But he doesn't understand that. So his anxiety, like he pissed me off the other day because his anxiety is so high. Let me tell you how dumb this man is. Like, I love my dad, by the way. So me and Mariel, we went on to our wedding anniversary, right? We were delayed by 2 weeks, whatever, whatnot. We decided to go eat somewhere close, garbage ass place. But we leave, Thank God it was somewhere close because I get a call from my dad. It's like, he won't stop crying. You guys have to come back. I was like, okay, cool. We come back. Baby is crying a lot. And then my dad's like, he must be sick. Like, you got to take him to the hospital. I was like, he's crying. He's a fucking baby, dude.
Like, there's something wrong with this baby.
Yeah.
It's like, it's doing what babies do.
Yeah, it's like, we got to take him to the hospital. And my mom's looking like, shut the fuck up. Like, my mom is so irritated, right? She's like, babies cry. Like, that's what they do. He misses his parents. So he, the kid sees Mariel, starts calming down or whatever, whatnot. My dad was so destroyed. This fool had like a light fever because of the anxiety. And I'm like,
gosh,
what are you doing, dude? And then he's just like, but he's like the classic old Korean guy where he's overly confident about everything. And so we have a wedding that we have to go to, and I have to, have my parents come over and spend the night with him one night, and then we'll come back the next morning super early. My dad's like, oh, I got it handled. Don't worry. I'm like, no, you don't. You literally don't. He goes, oh, that was just once. I was like, no, your anxiety is so ridiculous that you cannot watch the kid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, my mom has to be there. So my mom is all about go with the flow, but these old Korean guys are such know-it-alls, right? Even when they fucking fumble and fail so hard, they're still the smartest person in the room. And it's the most obnoxious thing to deal with.
And like, the dumbest decision in the world that they could have ever done is justified.
Yeah. It's just the craziest thing ever. And it's so interesting because, like, recently my mom and I got into a huge fight. And like, listen, moving back closer to my parents, it's interesting because I get to remap and learn who they are as an adult, and they get to learn who I am as an adult as well. And so my mom, she decides to kind of like snap on me recently. And then it was like a month or so or a couple months back. And why she snapped on me was so fucking random. Like, literally, I wake up in the morning, I'm in a good mood. She's helped watching the kid in the morning. She spent the night. There is this bottle that I am filling up. It's filled with formula. She goes, how much do you put in there? And I went, 25 grams. That's just like that. And then I go back and she just looks at me, and this is me translating it, right? She goes, you piece of shit. And I'm like, what? And I didn't know who she was talking to, right? Because I was in a good mood.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing with the baby, whatever, whatnot. And then she goes, the way you talk to me is so disrespectful. And I'm like, I still don't know who she's talking to. Because could it be me? Because I'm in a good mood. I didn't say anything, right? And she looks at me, and then she just goes, yeah, it's like, you're just so 25 grams. Like, why did you say it like that? I'm like,
I can't stand when Koreans get bothered by your tone.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't even know, like, how I said it. What's the problem?
Yeah,
Like,
so here's the thing. I'm like confused, right? Because I can understand if I say something aggressively because I'm in a bad mood, but I'm in a really fucking good mood. So I'm like, this cannot be me who she's speaking to.
Yeah.
And so what happened earlier was that my mom busted into the room, right? She's like, wake up, the bottle's not, well, where's the bottle at? And I was just like, whoa. I was like, 엄마, 아침부터 소리 지르지 마. 그냥 좀 목소리 좀 줄여. Like, calm down, right? And I got up and I started doing the thing. She was mad that I told her that she was being loud. Well, she literally, I thought somebody broke into my house, right? And by the way, I wasn't mad. I was just like startled, right? So she was pissed that I told her, like, hey, they don't scream in front of the kid. Just, you could just say things calmly. It's not a big deal. We'll get the milk, right? So I go over. She's mad. She's just like, you know what? I'm done with this. Like, I'm out. I'm going home. I'm like, going home where? You don't drive. Like, what the fuck are you talking? You're going to walk 40 miles? Are you out of your fucking mind? Right? She's just like, I'm going to. So she's literally trying to storm out and run out of the house.
Genius Brain listeners, this podcast is brought to you by BetterHelp. When the days start getting shorter and the light fades earlier, it's easy to feel like everything slows down, including us. Sometimes the best way to fight that is to reconnect. Maybe that means texting a friend, grabbing coffee with someone you haven't seen in a while, or just letting someone know you're thinking of them. BetterHelp is encouraging everyone this season to reach out to your friends, your family, and maybe even to a therapist. BetterHelp makes it easier to take that step. You'll be matched with a licensed therapist based on your needs and preferences. And if it does not fit, my friends, if it does not fit, we're talking about your therapist, you can switch any time. With over 5 million people served, BetterHelp is one of the largest online therapy platforms, and it's helped so many people realize that they're asking for help can be done, and it will be one of the best decisions that they probably could ever make. this month. Don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/genius. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/genius.
I fucking closed the door. I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, how old are you? I was like, hey,
Yeah, what the hell?
I'm too old for this.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't get to just throw up a fit and fight. I was like, use your words. I was like, if you can't use your words, take a second and sit down and relax. Calm down for a bit. And she's just like going off on me. And then, we're like whisper fighting because we don't want to yell in front of the kid. But the kid thinks me and my mom are playing. So the kid's laughing his ass off, which is good.
Yeah.
Right?
Lighten the mood.
Exactly. And so my mom is just sitting there, and then my mom starts like tearing up. I'm like, what are you crying for? She goes, you're just so disrespectful. You know what? The way that your wife speaks to me is 10 times better than the way you speak to me. I was like, yeah, no shit, because I'm your actual son.
Yeah.
We have rapport. You're her mother-in-law. She's going to speak to you at the highest level of respect. I'm not that. What the fuck are you talking about? Who are we?
Yeah.
And so the thing about this too, it gets to a point where I was like, you know what? We have cameras in the house. So I brought up the ring. She goes, I was like, I could show you the recording. Let's bring it. She goes, yeah, bring it up. Dude, even nicer than I thought I said it. I looked at her and I smiled. I was like, oh my, it's 25 grams. Like that. And then my mom was just like looking at that. She goes, huh. Like, of course, no accountability. She sees it. And she just won't acknowledge the fact that she was like just crazy disrespectful for no reason. And so it got into this conversation. She goes, you know what? This really stems from the fact, even the way you speak to, your dad, I don't like. I was like, yeah, because I don't fucking like him. And then my mom was like, quiet. She's like, what? What do you mean? Why don't you like your dad? I was like, because I don't like him. I was like, I love him. I don't fucking like him.
He's not likable. He's not my friend.
Yeah. And she's like, why? What did he ever do to you? I was like, are you fucking out of your mind?
What did he ever do to you?
Yeah. Dude. And that sparked like this crazy fight, right? And then my mom was just like sitting there and I was like, you don't remember anything he did to me, right? And then I just started, listing off all these things. And then eventually my mom gets like super quiet. And then she's like, oh, I didn't know this. I was like, yeah, of course you didn't fucking know this. We're so fucking poor. We were just trying to like keep things together. But just because you told him not to hit me doesn't mean he didn't hit me when you weren't looking.
Yeah.
Like he beat the shit out of me. Like you don't remember this? And I told her this like very specific thing. And look, I don't want to paint a bad picture of my dad, right? My dad is from a generation of Korean parents, of Korean dads who all did this. He is not unique, right? You talk to any Korean kid, they've experienced something very similar to this. And in my case, in certain cases, even worse. So like I told her, I was like, you don't remember those 2 office chairs that we had in the house? It's like there was a green one and a blue one. She goes, yeah, you had the blue one. I was like, you don't remember that thing being broken in half? She goes, yeah, you broke it. I was like, no, I didn't. Appa beat me with that. Like he smashed it over my fucking head. And she was shocked. She was like, I didn't know he did that. I was like, why didn't you tell me? I was like, even if I did tell you, you think he would have stopped hitting me? Yeah. He still would have hit me. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. And so my mom was just like getting mad at my dad now. She was like, I'm going to talk. I was like, it's too late.
It's too late.
That shit was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't get mad at him for that, right? It's 30 years ago. And I told my mom, I was like, you know what the saddest thing is? It's like, I can't even reconcile with him because he doesn't even remember doing it.
Yeah.
It's like.
But does your mom also tell you to get over it because it's been so long?
She did say that,
yeah.
Right? And I told her, I was like, here's the thing. And I was like, you can't tell me to get over something that he won't apologize for because he doesn't know that he did it. And I told him, I'm not even mad at him about it, right? All I need for him is to be a good grandfather. If he could treat my kid the way that he should have treated me, I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that.
It's like, but the minute he starts treating that baby like you guys did me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, she was like, yeah. And I, my mom was kind of quiet throughout the whole thing. I was like, you don't know these things because you were dealing with your own stuff, right? I completely understand. And I know my dad's story too. It's not that great. My dad had a fucking tough upbringing too. Very sad. So I empathize with him, but it doesn't mean I like him.
Yeah.
Right? He and I are very different people. I was like, I've come to know my dad just like I saw him with his anxiety fits with the baby crying. Because he's older, his anxiety leads to stress. When he was younger, his anxiety led to anger and beating me the fuck up. So it's his age that has changed him. So he's still the same person. But now that he doesn't have like his rage anymore, it just stresses him out. And obviously he can't beat me up. It's like, this is what it is. I accept it for what it is. Yeah. But when I see his anxiety things happen, it still pisses me off. because that before when I was a kid led to me getting an office chair smashed on my head.
Yeah.
So for my mom, I was like, I told her too, I was like, you should thank God that I even allow him to step into my home, right? I allow him to be around my grandkid. And my mom was just like quiet throughout the whole thing. And so we hugged and we made it up. But one of the things that I saw in my mom that was very, very nice to see was that when the nanny came over, the nanny was being very nice. She was like, oh, your son is very well put together. Like, he bought this house, he did all this stuff. Like you must be very proud. And my mom has never said this before. And she looked at her, she was like, oh, like I didn't really do much. Like he kind of raised himself. Never said that before, which is true. I kind of did raise myself, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, so that whatever talk that we had before fucking got into her head a little bit.
Yeah.
I think she felt so fucking bad because she didn't know these things growing up.
Dude, at least your mom's acknowledging it. I think my mom thinks half the shit, if not most of it, is bullshit.
I know.
Sometimes, like, she'll just keep saying things like, you're not over that? I'm like, oh, the worst thing that ever happened to me in my life? She's like, what the hell? And then, you know what she did? She told my old youth pastor, remember the KK youth pastor? He's old now, he would have been my dad's age. He was in LA for a sec. And he's like, hey, I'm in town, let's have lunch. And I didn't know that my mom had sent him to talk to me. And then he was sitting there like, hey, man, get over it. And I'm like, you're a pastor now. But I had to tell him, like, I don't consider myself a Christian anymore.
Yeah.
And if you were me, you would go kill him. You told me that.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't deny it.
Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah.
But he's like, I say, it's so long. Just get over it. It's okay, But then he's like, it wasn't reaching to me. Like, I know you were cool with my dad and shit. And my mom's trying to reach me that way. But it's like, you have to acknowledge something horrible happened.
That's the problem of that generation.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they are so good at just like telling you to get over it, not because it's better for you, it's because it's better for them.
Yeah, just, hey, can't we all just be peaceful? You're fucking my vibes up.
Yeah.
like that.
It's like, well, okay, so you get to do the worst things possible to me as a person, and then I have to get over it so you could feel better.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my fucking face, right?
Yeah.
That's what I told my mom too. I was like, I will never like dad. It's not possible. But I can forgive him, and then we could have a better relationship, right?
Yeah.
I was like, those things never heal. They just get a little better over time, right? And I told her, like, I understand when I speak to him, I'm a lot meaner than I am to other people. I was like, you see it all the time. And I was like, I need you to understand I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I was like, because she brought up when I was like trying to teach him something, and I was teaching him the way he taught me when I was a kid, right?
And she's
I
trying
was
to
like,
tell
how many
you.
times do I have to tell you this, right? And then she was like, why do you talk to you? I was like, you don't remember, that's how he taught me.
That's how you taught us.
Yeah. So why does he
Yeah.
get to make a fuss about the way I'm speaking to him when he spoke to me that way and then he physically fucked me up? So
Yeah.
no, I will speak to him the way that I want. I will get better at it, right? I told her, like, I don't agree that how I speak to him is a good thing. It's bad. But you're expecting me to therapize myself in a matter of fucking hours when it was like 30 years of just me getting my ass beat. Like, come on. Like, give me a little fucking grace. And so now my mom understands. So now, like, when I snap at my dad, my mom doesn't say anything. She's like, yeah, let him get it out. I was like, yeah, like it's difficult, right? And so now what I do is, like, when he irritates me, I have to walk away. Because a lot of it's not his fault now, but it doesn't mean that it's just like I can just get over it. It doesn't, I can't get over it, right? It's like an instinct. It's like a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
You know?
Our parents were always entitled. Like, Korean boomers are entitled as fuck. But did they feel even more entitled once they became 할머니 and 할아버지?
You know what it is too? It's just like, my mom, she says this phrase, she goes, oh, you think you know everything. And I was like, no, it's not that I know everything. It's just I know things.
This that I looked into.
Yeah.
That you did.
And there's things that you don't know. And so you have to understand that. And so my dad, Mr. ChatGPT, who doesn't know how to aggregate and read data properly, he thinks he knows everything again. And I'm like, listen, all I told him, listen, my house, my rules. If you don't want to follow it, get out.
Right.
That's it. I don't want to hear shit. Right? Don't tell me how to raise my kid. And I told him too, it's like, you barely raised me. What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
was your 할머니 and 할아버지 with you guys as kids when you were growing up?
they were. And so my 할머니, my dad's grandma, was also very bad to me too.
Great grandma?
My dad's mom.
Okay, yeah.
So that was something my mom kind of knew but didn't know either. And so I think this is the part that kind of made my mom really sad. Was I told her, I was like, listen, Do you remember when Halmani was like beating me so fucking bad? Appa came and he took me away from her because she used to babysit us. And because my brother told my mom that Halmani hits me too much. And so my mom and my dad got pissed. And my dad took me back and he was like, hey, you can't watch the kid. I didn't see my grandma for like a year or two because of that. And other people were watching us because I think the last straw was like he saw this like welt on my face and my mom, Halmani hit me with a stick and it hit me like right across my face.
Yeah.
All the way down here.
And you're like only how old?
I'm like 7 or 6.
Yeah.
Right? And then my dad was super pissed. And I told my mom, I was like, think about this. It doesn't matter where I went. If I was Halmani, Halmani beat me up. If I was at home, Appa beat me up. So why the fuck did it matter?
Yeah.
She was like, what do you mean tell somebody? I got beat up everywhere. I was like, think about this. Did you remember when you used to get mad at me that I would never come out of my room? Did you ever think why?
Yeah, it's like something's wrong with you.
Yeah. I was like, I went in my room because I was hiding from you guys.
Yeah.
Because every time I stepped out, Appa would call me stupid, dumb, or whatever. You guys were fighting. There was always financial issues. The room was quiet. It was my safe space. And I told her, that's why I like it quiet in my house. It was never quiet in our home.
Yeah.
Somebody was yelling at me. Somebody was getting their ass beat. You don't understand why I like it quiet.
Or if you have your doors closed, your parents are fighting in the background anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, you never thought about why I always stayed in my room? Why would I come out? I felt like you hated me.
The TV was my best friend.
Yeah.
Dude, those people were cool.
And they yell at me.
Yeah.
The Sidney Margolis show, there's naked bitches on it all the time. So it was just a lot of this conversation that my mom just didn't know about. Right?
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was a good thing, right? Because I got to finally tell her these stuff. And so my dad, she was like, and I told my mom, don't even mention Siddhapa. It's because it's pointless. Not because I don't want him to know, because even if he does, he doesn't know what to do with it because he doesn't know he did it.
Yeah.
So it's pointless. So I just do what I do, and my dad and I are getting to know each other in a different type of way. I have to swallow this like past shit and be like, I need to judge you for who you are now and not who you were before. Even though it's unfair to me. I think it's very unfair to me and it sucks, right? So like every day we're like kind of figuring this relationship part out. It's like, okay, am I mad at him for what he did now or am I mad at him for how he treated me before? Every day it's been like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, God, man, like I wish like some of these Korean parents do. And like I said, I don't want a pity party because I'm pretty sure any Korean kids that listen to this, that grew up, that's my age, late 30s, maybe some people in their 40s and even early 30s, grew up with a parent that did this type of shit.
Yeah.
And it's so sad, right? Because I asked my other friends' parents, they're like, yeah, my dad punched me in the mouth and knocked me out once. I was like, God damn, dude.
I knew a girl who was laughing about the time her dad knocked her out. And I'm like, huh?
That's not funny.
That's not a funny story.
This fool Joe used to date this Korean girl, and he told the story on JK News. But I guess like he brought her back home a little late, and the mom, I guess, was hiding behind a door. And then the mom or the dad was hiding behind the door when she came in, and he just fucking shaky kicked her, blah, and started beating the shit out of her.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Dude, this is like these old Korean people are like this.
I remember I slept over my cousin's house one night because they were supposed to take me to church or some shit. But my cousin came home late because she was with her boyfriend, and it was bad. Like something I've never experienced with my parents. Like I couldn't understand. And later I found out, yeah, they were just horrible people. They didn't beat my male cousin that way. They beat her that way.
Yeah.
You know, and then I was just
double standard.
Seeing it through the lines. In our family, they like to play favorites for something. There's one person that's a favorite to them. Obviously, the firstborn son of each family.
My brother.
Yeah. And I'm always like put to the side and shit, right? To the point where I was watching, so when I was in film school, like I had all these beta tapes of my baby videos. I'm transferring them to DVD for a project. And then the first person I'm going to show is my girlfriend. And when she's watching it, she starts crying. They're like, why is your family treating you like this? I'm like what?
What's wrong?
What's wrong, right? And it's like a video of my brother literally grabbing my hoodie and choking me. And I'm like, ah! And then they're like, hey, leave the baby alone. But my dad's just filming the whole time. My brother runs me over with the power wheel. And he's like, hey, don't do that to baby.
Your brother might be like one step away from being a serial killer. Like, honestly, like if I saw a kid do that, I'm like, you need some deep therapy. That's fucking nuts.
They didn't stop him from doing any of that shit, dude. Yeah. And so I think a few of my friends could understand, but I remember there was a lot of people like, I remember there was a new guy to church, and then my brother was just talking shit to me, right? And he was like, hey, man, like, what? He's your friend. Why do you talk to him like that, right?
Yeah.
He's like, he's not my friend. That's my brother. And he goes, you guys are brothers?
Like, that's worse.
It was worse. Like, why do you treat him like that?
As if that was, hey, dude, relax. It's actually my brother.
So there was this church retreat where it's like youth group. So there's like 100 kids or so go. And then the guest speaker was, the sermon was something Canaanite, but something about brothers and siblings, right? And then they were like, I know there's a lot of siblings here in this youth. Let's bring them up here. And siblings, I want you guys to pray for each other, right? So there's like sets of twins praying for each other, young, older, young, praying for his 동생. And then my brother was just like refused. And then it was us two standing there with our eyes open, just kind of looking at each other. And he was like doing this.
I'm not praying for his gay ass.
Yeah. And everyone was like, kind of like, oh my God, where like other siblings are crying and like, oh, thank you, Jesus, for this. And I'm like, oh,
your brother's choking you out with the hoodie.
But yeah, I mean, like, even my grandparents would like give him all the toys. I remember him getting all the robots. He got all the Transformers. He got the games and all that, and I didn't. And then my mom later told me this story where Sora as a baby, like a toddler, and my grandma had gotten my brother, every time they saw him, they brought him a new toy. And then Sora started playing with the toy, and my grandma smacked her. Like, that's for, you know, your oppa.
Yeah.
It's like my grandma never hit me or my brother, and my mom lost it then, where it was like, but then it was like, you know, how come you don't, you know, look after me that way either?
It's so hard. Like sometimes I just like want to have conversations with some of these people, and then I start to realize it's like, oh, you guys are just fucking insane. Like there's no reasoning behind it, right? It's just
that's a loveless home.
Yeah.
I mean, like when your parents don't chill, they don't like hanging out, they don't go on dates. Like
it's like you see this so much too, where like I also understand sometimes with like parents, they also don't see how much of a fuck up they are, right? It's just. And sometimes they view like the worst kid as the best kid. And sometimes these kids are very manipulative, right? But like even with like a couple of my friends too, like he shared this story about his kid. And he was like, dude, this is so funny. Like the kid basically, he was doing some bullshit at school, right? And I told him, he was like, yeah, it's kind of funny. I was like, it's not funny, right? He's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, your kid's a fucking bully.
Yeah.
All right. He's like, he's not a bully. He's like, that's just how kids are. I was like, no. I was like, your kid is a fucking bully and you think it's funny. So that's why he doesn't know he's a bully. I was like, your kid at home is probably great, right? But when teachers come back and he has multiple progress reports about him punching kids, pushing kids, stealing their shit, that means he's a bully.
It's not funny.
It's not fucking funny.
Yeah.
And I see that's like the hard part for me too now as a parent is that the sad part is that I'm probably going to go through another level of losing another layer of friends because I don't like the way that they raise their kids.
Right.
And you will never be around my kid. I'm not trying to hyper protect my kid, right? The outside world is the outside world, but friends and family are my inside world. Yeah. So that's my responsibility.
Like you're stuck with them.
Exactly. So whatever happens in the outside, I can't control.
Yeah.
But people who are around my kid in my home, in my vicinity, I can control that, right? So who they are around and how they are depicted in the stuff, like I said, for parents, they can't see it. They think their kid's an angel all the time. And I'm like, no, your kid's a fucking asshole, right? And it's like, kid's a bully. Like, and I'm not going to have your kid around my kid.
I feel like for some reason, maybe it's what we experienced in our parents, like they made up their minds about us when we were like toddlers.
Yeah, that's it.
And they just think we're, like, I told my mom, like, you know, why do you keep treating me like this? And you talk to me like I don't know shit or whatever. I'm like, I'm 39. My mom said, what? She didn't know how old I was. She thought I was like fresh
You're
out
not
of
a
college.
baby.
Yeah. Like,
baby 아니야.
you say that, but you keep treating me like I'm a baby. Like she says that, like 너 애기 아니야, 너 baby 아니야. But it's like you treat me like I'm a baby though.
You should look at your mom. Are you retarded?
Yeah.
Are you a
crazy?
병신? Call me a 병신? You didn't know I fucking aged?
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
So I'm like, okay, like, I
She was just like, man, I can't believe that. But she's literally like, what?
yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
I think her kids, I mean, not her kids, her friends have kids that are way younger than me, more Sora's age. So I think even for something in her, maybe she thinks Sora's older than me. So like, what the fuck?
Dude,
Yeah.
parents are just so fucking fascinating, man. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to vilify my dad, right? Like, if I told you guys half the stuff that he went through growing up, it would make sense to you guys.
Yeah.
Like, things make sense. It's just that I was on the bad end of the stick of it, right? And look, having a sibling that was favored didn't really help either, right? Because you get to see the contrast of how you are treated versus they're treated.
He was cultivated
Yeah.
to have what their idea of success is.
Yeah.
And then but in that way, because they didn't give a shit about you, you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
And so entertainment.
And that's why, like, when a lot of the fights that we had after I left and we did entertainment, my dad coming and saying like, "Oh, well, you did this because you got this from me," was probably one of the biggest fights we've ever had. Because it's like, I don't know, man. You called me stupid and useless every day, so I'm pretty sure whatever success I have is not because of you, right? It's in spite of you. It's different. And I told my mom this too. Oh, I forgot. I said this to my mom too, which kind of like broke her heart. I was like, if I had followed everything Appa had told me to do since I was a kid, you would not have a younger son. I would have killed myself in high school. I was like, I would have literally committed suicide. I didn't say it as a joke. And my mom was like, she was like shocked. I was like, you know that. If I had did everything Appa told me to do, I would have killed myself and you wouldn't have a son right now. I was like, you are very, very lucky that I'm so fucking weird. I live in my own world. Most people most kids that went through what I went through with dad and just being broke as shit as a kid, I'm pretty sure I should have either been a criminal or I should have killed myself. And either or I didn't end up either way.
So suicide in Korean has a specific word, right? What is it? 지저?
자살.
자살? Okay. So
지저 is like death, like a 깡패 type of
right.
word. Yeah.
So like I don't know those words. So when I tell my mom like 죽고 싶어 또 죽겠어 kind of thing, right? She just thought I was complaining about how tired I was.
엄마도 죽고 싶어. 엄마도 피곤해.
It's like we all feel that way. And I was like, no, like gun 이렇게. Like I had a pantomime. Like,
You gonna do this? Nah.
yeah, you 죽고 싶다고. She's like suicide. She's like never gets it. And then next day she'll forget. She'll literally forget. Like a few months ago, I brought it up about like I'm going through a tough time, and it was news to her again. I'm like, I swear to God, we've had this conversation.
I'm learning to train my parents right now, and they're getting it too. Like I said, because my Korean has gotten so good. Like my mom, I'm allowed to now argue with her better, right? So with her, like the other day, she called me, and it was my dad's birthday. And it's in my calendar. I've never forgotten his birthday every year, right? I send him money. I say happy birthday to him. But I also work. So I'm working on shit. And then out of nowhere, this woman, it's like 10 a.m. She goes, this is how she says it too. She goes, 너 아빠한테 happy birthday 전화 안 했어? Which is like, hey, why didn't you say happy birthday to your dad? And I'm like, 엄마, why are you speaking to me so aggressively? I was like, it's 10 a.m. The day just got started. I take care of the kid in the morning. All right. I was like, I'm going to say happy birthday to him. She goes, 근데 왜 안 했어? I'm like, and I told her too, I was like, you need to stop talking to me disrespectfully. Right? She gets mad at me. She goes, 끊어. She hangs up and I call her back up. I was like, don't ever hang up the phone on me while I'm talking. We are having a conversation. I was like, are you a child? I was like, she goes, what? You said you explained yourself. I was like, no. Why are you mad? Why are you mad at me?
Yeah.
You accused me of something that I didn't do. She goes, I'm just reminding you. I was like, really? That's just reminding? You started this phrase, no, which is very aggressive. It's like, you. It's like, I was like, and I told her in Korean, it's like, you need to be responsible for the things that you say. If I said that to you, 내가 엄마한테 전화하면 I would, 엄마, no. If I was like, no, super disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know that's disrespectful. And she's quiet again. And I was like, be careful with how you speak. And then she's like, fine. And she just hangs up. No accountability.
Yeah.
Right. And then later on, she called the next morning. There's food arrives at my house. Right.
It's a big tub of kimchi.
Yeah. It's like, listen, my mom has a very bad habit of speaking fucking aggressively.
Yeah.
Partially where I got it from, right? Now I've learned to detrain myself a little bit. Now for her, she needs to understand that how you speak to me is the reaction that you get. If you speak to me aggressively, I will speak back to you aggressively. And that's the thing too. It's like the rules don't apply to them. And I think that's the part that always frustrates me. The rules also apply to you. If you want to be spoken to kindly, you speak to me kindly too.
Yeah.
But then she's just so like aggressive. Like I said, I love my parents, but when people tell me they're too old to change, I don't accept it, right? Because I've seen change in my dad, I've seen change in my mom, and it's happening slowly. Most people, when Asian kids ask me, how did you get this relationship with your parents? How are you doing this? Most of you do not want to deal with this part. This part is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is so difficult. And I'm not talking about a 180 change. It happens in increments, a little bit at a time. For whatever X amount of years that I've been alive, the 37 years I've been alive, I finally got David kind of raised himself. She acknowledges it. It took 37 years.
Yeah.
But it happened a little bit at a time. I think a lot of you guys, when you have these conversations with your parents, you expect them to just go on their knees and apologize. That will happen eventually if you keep chipping away at it, pending they're not psychopaths.
Also, when that does happen, is that what you really wanted? Because
Yeah.
that happened for me, where I said enough shit where my mom got down on her hands and knees and bawled and begged for forgiveness. 용서해줘. 엄마가 잘못했어. Like that kind of shit. And I didn't even know what my response was supposed to be. Because it's like I was running on, and this is what.
Yeah.
It's like when she acknowledges it, I'm like, well, now do I forgive her?
Yeah.
Or am I going to now stew in all this hate and whatever, right? So there's a lot of things I have to like sit on. So this reminds me, like, speaking of birthdays, so my mom and my dad are like 6 days apart in birth dates. So essentially a year and 6 days. My mom is older. So our birthdays are about a week apart. I have the same birthday as my dad. Me growing up, I didn't get the birthday parties my brother and sister got. They had parties.
I mean, that's so intentional too.
Yeah. They had gifts, they had friends, they had cake. There were birthdays I didn't get cake, you know? There was birthdays where it was just shitty. And my brother would like to remind me, because we shared a room, and he's like, dude, you didn't get shit for your birthday this year, right? Like as if it was funny to him.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, so by the time where I'm like 15, right? My dad, it was my mom's birthday. My dad came up to me and he was like, gave me some cash. He was like, hey, go buy a cake for Oma, right? And I said, why? I was like, what do you mean, why? And I said, Oma didn't get me a cake. You know, Oma doesn't celebrate my birthday. And then he goes, it's my birthday too. He's like, when's the last time I had cake? When did you guys get me a gift? And I was sitting there like, oh, we don't love each other.
Yeah.
And he's like, go buy Oma a cake. And then that was just one of those things where it's just like, that's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, even though they don't love us. Sorry, I'm like, my dad was the one who also helped me. It was just like, just do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, get Oma a cake. And then, so I went and did it, you know, and then, no, my birthday kept sucking, you know?
Yeah.
Our birthdays kept sucking.
There's always like this thing too where sometimes they forget. It's like, you know, the stuff that you tell us, like when you impart this wisdom stuff, there has to be an end result that matches what you say.
Yeah.
Like my dad, when he told me, hey, if you just tell me, even if you mess up, let me know what you did and I'll never hit you. He still beat the living shit out of me. And that created distrust. It's like, oh, so it doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah.
You hate me. So if you hate me
anyway,
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to lie. I'm going to sneak out of the house because either way, when I do exactly what you did, it's still not good enough. Right? So I'll just live my life the way that, and thank God that I did. Because if I didn't live the way that I wanted to, I would have kept chasing this picture of an ideal son that even he is an expectation that he knew that I couldn't live up to. And I would have been fucking suicidal, right?
But they also expected you to take over the business.
Yeah.
Right? Because he's not going to go to school.
Exactly.
Man, I was supposed to run that gas station too, you know? It's like, no.
I have, like, it's such a weird thing to experience when you're older. And look, there's crazier shit that happened. I'm not going to share because it's just way too traumatizing.
Yeah, I have a lot more.
Yeah, I'm not sharing that shit with you guys at all. But, this is just like a small sample of what I went through as a kid, right? And like I said, I don't hate him because this is pointless. If he was still the same piece of shit he was when I was younger, I would fucking ruin his life, But he's such a good guy now. He's trying his best.
So you have to acknowledge, like, at least beyond what you remember as, what is he now? You have to acknowledge all of that.
And he's a great grandfather. He helps me around the house. He's annoying, but it doesn't mean that he's not a good person now. So, I have to accept it for what it is. Either that or I just choose not to be around him ever. And I don't think that's an option for me. Like, I wouldn't want that either. Like, I like the fact that he's a better person and he's changed a lot. But, like I told my mom, it's like, it doesn't mean that how I feel changes automatically. I'm just going to get a little better at it every day.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just been like the last fucking 5-6 months, dude. It's a lot.
I mean, did you ever see your dad make a change when you were a kid, though?
Not when I was a kid. It happened after the first spark of changing it happened after I decided never to talk to him again. And I left. And then my mom, because my dad's just whining, grew up complaining. And my mom had to talk to him and said, like, hey, if you want your kid back in your life, it's like, you got to stop controlling them. He's not your property. Right.
And it's tough for a pastor to have no contact with his son. It's like, yo, you got to preside over this flock and you got one that's left, the 99.
That's the other thing too. It's like, it's hard to be that kid where you watch your dad being so good to the congregation, but he treats you like shit.
Yeah.
And so my mom just told him, like, look, if you want a relationship with your son, it's like, you got to leave him alone. It's like, he's not your property. It's like, you want this obedient Korean kid that, lives in the household, does all this stuff. Why did you move it? She goes, we didn't have to come to America. We could have roughed it out there and stayed there. Why'd you come here? So what are you expecting out of him? That's you were raised an American kid.
Why is my son not Korean?
Yeah. You brought us here. You made that choice. I didn't make that choice. Right? So it's like, you're responsible for it. Leave him alone. So that was like the first change. And after that, I mean, it wasn't easy. He still had his terrible habits, his short temper, anger, screaming and yelling.
I remember I told you at the time about my dad calling me a Pyeongshin.
Yeah.
And then I had to ask my mom what Pyeongshin meant. Like, Pyeongshin means little. And then she got mad at my dad and told him, don't ever call him that. Whatever, right? You know what my dad did?
What?
He came up to me and was like, no, mantillo? You snitched on me? He went 깡패 on me. And then so go back further. It's same. When I was in 5th grade, my dad was just scary. He's just scary to me. And he worked a night shift job. And so he would wake up at 5 to go to work. And he was always grumpy every time he woke up. And he woke up angry, yelling at us. And so what I would do is just go into the bathroom and pretend I'm taking the longest shit of my life. I'd just sit in the bathroom. So at least he's not going to, he walked in on us in the bathroom. And so I would just wait till he leaves, right? And then my mom said my dad's noticing that, right? She's like, 아빠 너 안 반대 이제, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm scared. 아빠 무서워. So,
Yeah.
And then she told my dad that. And then you would think that he would, oh my gosh.
I'll give you something to be scared about.
No, yeah, he came up to me in my face, 무서워? 너? 아빠 싫어? Like that. So, 알았어, 그러면. Like, what? That's when I needed you.
Yeah.
He was like, fine, then don't like me.
Your dad's a child.
Yeah.
He's a fucking child.
And I'm 10.
Yeah.
And he's 30 at this
But
point.
also, too, your mom failed too miserably.
Yeah.
What a terrible failure. So you tell that to your husband, knowing who your husband is. Like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? Maybe you should have done your job as a mom and protect the kid and be like, hey, I understand, and then comfort the child. But that's the thing, I always said about your mom. Your mom has always depicted herself as the victim in every story, but you were complicit. You were the problem too.
Yeah.
You were a big part of the fucking problem. But in her mind, she's like, oh, your dad was no. You were just as bad. And you might even be worse.
Yeah.
Because you stood around there. You're supposed to be the mom. The mom's the nurturing one. Sometimes when I see dads do that type of shit, I'm like, that's dads, right? But as a mother, you're supposed to be the nurturing one, and you double down, you tag teamed. Yeah. It's like, come on. You know what I mean?
I mean, both you guys thought I was Pyeongshin. You just didn't like to call me out loud.
Jesus Christ.
They really thought something was just like, yo, this guy is below the belt.
Well, guys, that wraps up this episode of the Genius Brain podcast. Yeah, that's what it's like growing up as a millennial Korean kid in a household with like really tough, just hardened fathers. But shout out to my dad. He has grown a lot. He's a lot better than who he was before. I appreciate him. I still love him. Don't like him that much, but I fucking love the guy. He's a good dude.
Yep, same. My father's my father. I love him. Didn't like him.
Genius Brain every Sundays at 12 p.m. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.